Good day, everyone. I am Yoli Bulusan, your reporter for today. In this lecture, I would like to introduce to you the country of Vietnam and how is the learning of English language start in the country. But now, let me give you a short introduction about the history of Vietnam. Vietnam is a land of challenging myth and appealing scenic beauty. It is also the land of smiles, warm hospitality and generosity, where people intend to do whatever they can to give you the time of your life, no matter who you are and where you are from. Legends say that Vietnam has a history of 4,000 years and that Vietnamese are descendants of a dragon king and a fairy queen. Scientists have established it as one of the cradles of mankind. So now, let's proceed to the topic, the history of English language in Vietnam. The history of Vietnam, as Brannigan 1994 puts it, is a saga of recurrent strife, turmoil, invasion, occupation, and hardship. For a long time, Vietnam did not have its own language. Foreign interventions and the subsequent use of foreign languages as of the national or official language overwhelmed most of the nation's 4,000 years history. During the years of the Vietnam War, 1954 to 1975, Vietnam was divided into two parts, the Communist North and the Capitalist South. Foreign language education policy thus followed different patterns. The North promoted Russian and Chinese, and the South emphasized English and French as the main foreign languages to be taught as a required subject in secondary and post-secondary education. National reunification and the subsequent change in the political and the economic system in the 1975 marked the dominance of Russian as the main foreign language and the decline of English as well as other languages in the educational system, such as a foreign language policy, no doubt reflected to a desire to expand relation and among countries of the communist bloc. The 1945 to 1954 period was characterized by the return of the French and the Vietnamese resistance struggle. While in French-controlled areas, French was again used officially in education. Vietnam was promoted in Vietnam-led regions, mostly in remote rural areas. The struggle with France ended in 1954, thus bringing the status of French as the official language to an end. According to the 1954 Geneva Accord, Vietnam was divided into two regions which followed opposite political orientations. Whereas the French War was unquestionably the resistance struggle of the whole nation, the subsequent Vietnam War from 1954 to 1975 had a different name. Vietnam was under the rule of the Chinese for more than 1,000 years, from 111 BC to 938 AD. During this time, education was in Chinese and followed the Chinese model. Even after Vietnam became independent in 1939, Chinese was still the most influential language in the society. Therefore, for centuries, the teaching and the learning of foreign languages was restricted to classical Chinese, which aimed at producing administrators, governors, and educators for a feudal society. Subsequently, in the middle of the 18th century, French colonialists began to invade Vietnam. Vietnam's open-door policy Doi Moi came into existence in 1986 as a departure from obsolete dogmatism. For the first time, mismanagement in the government policies and implementation was cited as a most crucial reason for economic failure, poverty, and backwardness. The country witnessed a new change at the top of central power and an attempt to abolish bureaucratic centralization. In diplomatic relations, The call for cooperation between Vietnam with every nation regardless of political differences became a necessity. In addition, a free market-oriented economy was adopted. All this helped attract a considerable number of English-speaking visitors to Vietnam as tourists and business people. This situation was in contrast to the past when the majority of foreigners were from the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe. The social demands have forged the reemergence of English as the language for border communication and cooperation. English has thus regained its role as the main foreign language taught and used in Vietnam. In the 1880s, the French established a protectorate and a colonial government that controlled the whole territory of Vietnam. The French brought the teaching of French as a second language to parts of the country. According to Wright, by 1878, French as well as Kok Mu, the national language, was permitted in official documents. English was taught in only a few schools at that time. Now let's proceed to the next topic. How many English speakers in Vietnam? According to the latest annual English proficiency as of 2016 by the Swiss Education First or SEF, a global language training company, Vietnam ranks 31st among 72 countries in the world and 7th among 19 Asian countries in English proficiency. Vietnam scored an average of 54.06 on a scale of 100, standing behind Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, India, South Korea, and Hong Kong in Asia according to the index. The level of English proficiency among Vietnamese people has increased considerably in the last 5 years. From 2012 to 2014, the country was classed among a group of countries with low-level English skills but has now moved up to a moderate level. How is English language implemented in Vietnam? The acceptance of English as a compulsory subject in education system does not deny the opportunity to learn other foreign languages at school. The policy encourages the teaching and learning of a variety of foreign languages with an emphasis on English. According to Law 2005, by 2010, Russian, French, and Chinese will be available as a second language in regions which have good learning and teaching conditions and wish to teach them. The teaching and learning of a second language will start from grade 6 and continue to grade 12 with 2 lessons per week. Language education policy is perceived and implemented has profoundly impacted on the culture of English education in Vietnam. Since the 1990s, in big cities such as Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh, English for primary pupils have been taught in a pilot program at language centers and some primary schools. Some private language schools throughout the country offer English to children as young as 5 or 6 by Noonan 2003. In response to society's demands, the Ministry of Education and Training, or MOET, issued the Note number 6627 dated 18th of September 1996, which provided guidance on foreign language teaching in primary schools. English was introduced as an elective subject starting from second semester of grade 3 with 2 40-minute periods a week. English teaching was piloted in several primary schools in big cities in Vietnam. Here are the features of English language in Vietnam in terms of grammar pronunciation. They also have front vowel, central, and back vowel. Here is the high, the upper mid vowel, and the lower mid vowel, and the last one is the low vowel. Here are some local Vietnamese authors and their literary works. The first one is Phan Thai Vang An. Her literary works is Children's Story, year published 1988. Next is Lee Thailand. She published Seeing Mountains in Dreams, year published 1991. Phan Trey Hai. She published a novel, A Man Lying on the Roof, year published 1997. And the last one is Ngu Yun Tao Chow Jung. His literary works is Childhood Summer, published 1997. And now here is my conclusion. English in Vietnam does not seem to have anything to do with social classes. It does act as a gatekeeping tool in the society, particularly with employment and educational opportunities. The high status of English in present Vietnam is obvious. This reflected in the fact that those who do not have sufficient competency in English may have a feeling of being excluded from position which may lead to power. So it's necessary to learn the language that connects everyone around the world and become knowledgeable on what is the past incorporate to our current situation and what will be the outcome that the future generation will continue in the future. And that's my report. Thank you for listening. God bless and keep safe. Thank you.